Hi, I'm Brian King, and this is Winning Wednesday, where we take time to figure out how to win at marriage. We are in the Common Complaints series, and today's common complaint that men have about their wives is that the wife is not thankful for all the things that he does. Now, how this typically plays out, and it's a really big problem, because generally what happens is the men tend to stuff it when they don't feel appreciated. They just kind of keep packing it in, and sometimes even over years. And then what happens is he gets to a breaking point and he says, I'm done. I'm out of here. You don't appreciate me. I want a divorce. And it becomes a huge blow up because he's been stuffing it for all of these years. Now, the good news is we can take some time to learn how to avoid that. Since it's Winning Wednesday, we're going to talk about some ways that you can avoid that ever happening to you. First, one of the things we need to realize is that men and women look at things very differently. The good news is we're both very capable of learning to see it from the other person's point of view. Now, she may not understand your need for appreciation. You know, when you got married, she had a baseline of expectations. For instance, she just expected that you would go to work, that you'd mow the lawn, that you'd be the one to take the trash out, that you'd do this or that or the other. And it's just like, well, of course, that's what he does. And she doesn't feel like you need to be thanked or even appreciated for that. That's just what you do. And, you know, to a certain extent, that's true. I mean, we do that, but we want to be appreciated. The problem is, like, we think, you know, okay, I'm going to work. That's worth at least 50 points, right? Well, no, for her, that's under the baseline, so that just comes up to zero. That's 0 points, you know. And well, you're going to mow the lawn. Well, that should be worth at least 30 points for our point of view, because it's, you know, it's hot out there and you're going to do stuff. Oh, and I shovel the snow in the winter. That's got to be worth at least 40 points. And you haven't even moved the baseline yet, because her point system starts with, you know, cards and gifts and flowers and dating her. That's where you earn the big points. And she doesn't realize that you want points for the other stuff. So you've got two different point systems. And that's just not going to work. You've got to sit down, take some time, make it fun. Just say, hey, you know, I know that, you know, you don't see things the same way, but, you know, I'd like to be appreciated for going to work and for mowing the lawn. And that's, you know, tell her, you know, sit down and say, you know, how many points do you think that's worth? And then say, well, I think it's worth this. You know, do it when it's not when you're fighting, but when you have some time to just sit, have some coffee, and talk about your different point systems and how you see things. Communication is the big key to help stay away from this problem, because you really want to stay away from it. And like I said, it's not that she doesn't appreciate it. It's just, you know, she's under the impression that you don't need the encouragement and appreciation for that. She thinks that's just the baseline. And that's okay, but if you take the time to tell her, she can learn and she can understand that you need to be appreciated for those things. It's really not hard to figure out. She just doesn't know. I mean, that's part of it. One of the things that we got in trouble with was I would feel like, all right, I just finished this project, and I'd be like, come and see what I did. And she's like, oh, good, you're done with that. Now you can do this. And I had to sit down and say, hey, wait a minute. I'm not a workhorse. I need some appreciation for these things. You know, take some time to ooh and ah over what I did. I built this beautiful swing set, and the kids are going to love it. And, you know, we just really had to say, take some time before you ask me about the next project. And it worked. It worked really good, because she just didn't realize that I needed that kind of appreciation. And I remember we had some really, you know, because when you feel unappreciated, what generally happens is it just kind of takes the wind out of your sails. It's like, well, I don't really want to do anything if she doesn't appreciate it. So make it fun. You know what you need. When you finish a project, like I'll finish painting a room and I'll say, hey, honey, come ooh and ah over this. Look at this masterpiece. And she gets it because she knows I'm telling her, and it's okay to let her know, because otherwise it's not that she wants to withhold appreciation. She just doesn't know what you need. So you've got to kind of fill in the blanks of what you need. Yeah, I know, I just finished painting this. Come ooh and ah over it. Or hey, honey, I just cleaned the bathroom. You don't need to come and see it, but I want my points. Just make it fun. That way it's light, it's not difficult, it's not dangerous. Don't fall into the you first trap either. Well, I don't feel appreciated, so I'm not going to appreciate what she does. That's dangerous. Because you can both withhold. If you're both waiting for the other one to go first, it's a huge trap. People will spend years withholding appreciation from each other because they didn't do it first. No, instead, if you basically reap what you sow. So if you don't feel appreciated, appreciate her first. Tell her she's doing a great job with something. Tell her what you really appreciate about the things that she does. And, it's kind of like that old comedy skit where the guy says, well, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. And it goes back and forth. And it really does do that. When you start showing appreciation, it comes back. So that's a good thing. Also, if you do have to talk about it, if you're one of the people that it's been stuffing it for years, you're going to have to be very careful about how you approach it. But you can communicate it to her, but you want to do it without fighting about it. And one of the biggest ways to start a fight is by saying, you never do this, or oh, no, I don't want to talk about you. I want to talk about me. I'm the one that's not getting my needs met. I'm not going to accuse you of doing something or not doing something, because that will just make you defensive and make it, okay, we're going to have a fight. If you frame it with you, like you never, or you don't, or you didn't, you're making the other person feel like they did something wrong. And they may have. But do you really want to fight about it, or do you want to solve the problem? If you really want to solve the problem, look at it from the point of view of, hey, honey, I got something going on, and it's like a 10. We've really got to sit down and talk about this, because I'm not feeling appreciated. I know you're not doing it on purpose, but I really feel like I'm not being appreciated. When I did this and you just said, can we, I said a you, but I'll skip that. When I did this and I didn't feel like you appreciated it, it really hurt my feelings. And, you moved right on to asking for the bookshelf. And I really felt like I needed some appreciation for building the swing set. I know it gets complicated with the yous and the I's, but the point is kind of keep it on your side and just kind of let her know that it's super important. She can learn. We play with it a lot because, it's like when I get something done or I feel like I really want to be appreciated, I will say, come and ooh and ah over this thing that I did. And that's her cue. She usually automatically does it. And she'll even ask, oh, are you done? I want to come and ooh and ah over it. And I'm like, oh, no, almost, yeah, that's great. And it's fun. It really puts the fun into it. So the goal here isn't about keeping score. We play with points and we talk about that, but it's really about learning to speak each other's language so that our marriage can grow stronger. And instead of growing resentful, we can be playful, we can have fun, we can learn about each other and how we can meet each other's needs. And that's how you win. That's what makes it available to have this problem, deal with it, and win. And that's what we like to do around here, because this is Winning Wednesday. And that's it for today. talk to her. Let her know how you're feeling. Let her know what's important. Use I statements, not you statements. Don't put her on the defensive. Just let her know. She will appreciate it, actually, because she just, lots of times, just doesn't even know, because like I said, that whole baseline thing's going. She doesn't know that you want to be appreciated for that because she wasn't taught it. So give her some time to learn, and then you can enjoy the results. That's it for today's Winning Wednesday. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time.